of supporting what he's doing. And I think this is the Kenya that we live in. This is the Kenya that we live in, and these are facts. What it means, Honorable Speaker, is that nothing is always the way it seems. It is not the way it is. It depends on where you are. And some of us are not, we are not bitter that we've been de-whipped. We are happy because, for one, it also, our supporters realize where we stand. And you can see those who have managed to remain in the middle where they are, that some of them are not even able to hold even rallies over the weekend or even distribute anything because the ground is different. It depends on where you come from. For us who come from Rift Valley, we will always stand with our man.
The Honorable
For
Pukose,
people who come from
the Honorable Pukose.
Yes.
I'm just wondering which motion it is that you're contributing to.
The mediated version of the county government's amendment bill.
I see, without putting you down.
Yes.
And this being the COVID season.
Yes.
I don't see how we can be advocating for members to be holding rallies and distributing things while we have this.
Unfortunately, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable, because
just
try to be relevant to the motion. Please.
It depends on which side of the government you are in. Because for those who are within the government, they'll continue having normal meetings. And for those who are not within, you saw what happened to Honorable Etangula and Honorable Mudavadi over the weekend. And even Honorable Chris Wamalwa can attest to that. That for those who are considered to be...
The Honorable Pukose, just hold on. The Honorable TJ Kajwang, what is out of order?
Mr. Speaker, sir, on account of relevance, I listened to the leader of majority explain this bill very well and seconded very well by the member for Homa Bay Town. Now, Mr. Speaker, we are being treated to instances that are happening in the greater Rift Valley, especially in Uasin Gishu and so on. And Mr. Speaker, you are being asked to remember some scenes which were not on the floor of the House concerning some people that have been mentioned. How relevant, Mr. Speaker, would those submissions be to the bill that is before us? Mr. Speaker, would you rule my friend, a person I hold with a lot of esteem because he is not only my classmate and a person I shared with very dangerous times, but also my personal physician. But on this, wouldn't you rule him out of order that he is bringing issues which are not before the Assembly?
The Honorable TJ, you're absolutely right. The Honorable Pukose, kindly just stay on the course. Of course, you have a right to air your concerns and your views about what the government might be or might not be. But the business before us now is a discussion of the mediated version of the county government bill number 11 of 2017. So let's just stay the course. You have probably 2 minutes to go. Just say something about it.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I really respect what Honorable TJ Kachwang said. You know, in 1992, TJ Kachwang was our chairman for Zone 92, and that is the time we were fighting for the liberation of this country from the grip of KANU, where there was only one party system, and I was a congressman. Honorable Speaker, times have changed, and TJ Kachwang, I think we've gone back to 1992, when we need to have a second liberation of this country from the grip of the new KANU, and that is where we are today. So, Honorable Speaker, this mediated fashion bill, I want to support it. The Senate, the mediated fashion of the county government's amendment bill, Senate Bill number 11 of 2017. Honorable Speaker, I know it takes time for bills to come from the Senate to here, and at times some of these bills get lost. Some of the bills that we hope they'll be, when we go out there, some of the former councillors are asking us, there's a bill that was taking care of their interests, where did it disappear into? And I think when you look at now this one, 2017 up to today, we are in 2020. It has taken 3 years for this bill to come from the Senate and to come to the National Assembly and go to the mediation committee. It is mediated, and today it is here. I think it's a high time that we move with speed, approve this bill so that what was intended can be achieved. With those few remarks, Honorable Speaker, I support.
Very well, Honorable Pukose, I can only sympathize with you, but it will be well. You are here, you belong to this country. Some of us have never known the bosom warmth of government. We have been in this thing called opposition, but we have not died. We are still here. You will be fine. Don't worry too much. We shall have contribution from the Honorable Oundo Ojiambo, member for Funyola.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Yes, for sure. Honorable Speaker, I stand to support the mediated version, and I must reckon that it has been a wonderful job. At one time, the substantive speaker seconded me to one of those mediation committees, and Honorable Speaker, I left a dejected man because some of our older brothers in the Senate took such a hardline position, devoid of any professional input or the benefits of this country. But I'm happy that this mediated version has been agreed upon, and we can conclude this process. Honorable Speaker, yes, the county government is the future of this country, but we must admit we started on a wrong footing. So many loopholes, so many lacunas in law, and so many issues. It is important this amendment to the County Government Act have come at the right time to address so many issues, so many gaps that had been left along when we were preparing the Act in a hurry to meet the constitutional requirements as it was then. Honorable Speaker, yes, the county government employ very many people, and some of the issues raised here are important and critical. I just want to mention one or two issues. First of all, the issue of appointment of the chief of the CEC is indeed a good issue, proposal. Being a political office, you must always wake up and work at the whims and the benevolence of the governor, because you are serving him or her to meet their campaign pledges and their mandate. If you are unable to deliver, the rigorous position position that was being taken of giving reasons why you are firing, that was indeed going to be unfair, considering the President of the Republic of Kenya is not obliged to do so. But honestly speaking, as Honorable Speaker, it is important that yes, along we'll have a disagreement, but I want to urge governors, CECs are the advisors, they are the implementers of their mandate or their whatever they're supposed to do. It is important that they work together and achieve whatever they are required. Honorable Speaker, the other issue that I'm happy about is the issue of employment equity plan. Honorable Speaker, quite a number of places wherever you go, there is complaint of favorism, nepotism in the employment. You find in where we have a county of different ethnic groups, one ethnic group dominates all the important positions. This is clearly happening in my account of Busia. I suppose once the act once the bill is assented to by the President, with the people of Busia, we'll call for an audit of employment positions so that not all the lucrative positions are reserved for a few people to the detriment of the entire leadership and the entire county of Busia. Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, Honorable Bukose has taken us back to memory lane. In 1992, many of us, I think, were first year at the University of Nairobi. Probably the only person I heard of was TJ Kajwang. Hope, being a Congress person, he wasn't heard much. But I want to tell him, most of us, as you have clearly put, we have never known the so-called government. And we have happily lived. Whatever little we have brought development. And even where we have been in government, I can't say anything substantially important that has come to us by virtue of being government. I console him, these things happen, and life has to go on. With those few remarks, I support.
The Honorable, the Honorable Pukose, it's not about you. Don't worry. No, he mentioned you on a light note. It is not, don't take it too seriously. It is well. It will be well, my brother. We shall have contribution from the Honorable Adagala.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. My voice is a bit hoarse, and I think you can bear with that. I stand also to voice on this motion that it should be approved in a way that our county governments have really been struggling in some of the areas of doing their work, because devolution being the first thing that most governors had not experienced. They've been having problems with the handling of CECs and other positions. So I stand here also to support this motion, and I would comment the way my other colleagues have been commenting, especially Dr. Pukose. Dr. Pukose, welcome. You've enjoyed it for the last 7 years. This is the time you want to test the fruits of being in opposition. I welcome you with all hands and feel at peace in Amani, where we are accepting you with full hands. You are welcome. And now, you know, you have to get prepared. As we age to 2022, you will be in opposition. And also, Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to say the team that conducted this work, especially those that were with the Honorable Kaluma, they have been awarded some goodies, and my son-in-law has not been given anything. I would also wish, if something, Mr. Speaker, can be given to my son, Honorable Kaluma, so that he can also feel the goodness of being in government and take care of my daughter and the people of nominee 00 number 1, Mr. Speaker, protect me from him. He likes
the honorable,
when I want
the
to.
Honorable Adagala, just hold on. The Honorable Lieutenant, what is out of order?
Mr. Speaker, those who have spoken to this motion are variously referred to Honorable Pukose as being in the opposition, Mr. Speaker. I'm aware Honorable Pukose belongs to the majority party, the Jubilee Party, in this House, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, I have heard, including yourself, giving him assurance that it will be well. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Pukose has not left Jubilee, Mr. Speaker. And he knows the consequences of attempting to leave Jubilee, that it may include him vacating his seat for Endebess. And I'm sure he has no such intentions, Mr. Speaker. So I just wanted to tell the members to stop insinuating that the Honorable Pukose has left Jubilee. And for avoidance of doubt, Mr. Speaker, we are aware that the Jubilee Party has not signed any coalition agreement, for post-election coalition agreement, with a party like ODM, which Honorable Kaluma belongs.
The Honorable, listen it. What is your point of order?
My point of order, Mr. Speaker, is the members are imputing improper motive on the Honorable Pukwase. And that is out of order, Mr. Speaker.
The honorable member from Mogotio, the Honorable Pukwase, in his own submissions, had alluded to the fact that he's no longer part of what he considers to be government. And I think that is in that context that the members were speaking to. But anyway, that is not the debate before this floor. The Honorable Pukwase resume your seat. That is not the way we do business in this House, and you know it. You are a senior member of this House. We must have respect for our own rules, our own orders in this House, and we must have order. These matters have been spoken to outside what is before the business of the House, and we must go back to business. The Honorable Adagala, kindly confine yourself to the business that is before this House and make your submissions on the order that is under discussion now.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Actually, I was coming to it. I was just trying to let these people know if they are suffering in that Jubilee, they should come to Amman National Congress where there is peace. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. When I go back to the motion, I support, because most of these governors have been suffering under these people called the CECs, and I want to thank the committee that handled these matters, the matter to conclusion, that they have done a very good job, and therefore we want to see counties working in an orderly manner, whereby the CECs and the governors working in an amicable way to make sure that they deliver to the people in the counties. Because there's a lot of money that is leaving the national government to the counties that need a lot of working together. And if there is any CEC who may not want to work, I think the governors should be at liberty to do away with this kind of people. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I support this motion, and I recommend the team that worked on it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Pukwase, welcome to Amman National Congress.
The Honorable Adagala, and remember to wear your mask properly. Yeah, we must lead by example at all times. The Honorable Chumel Moroto, member for Kapenguria.
Asante sana Bwana Spika kwa kunipa nafasi ili pia niungane na wenzangu kushukuru wale ambao walitengeneza hii bila ambayo tunaongea juu yake mpaka mali imefika. Bwana Spika, wakati wana Kenya waliamua kuwa na mambo ya ukatusi, walikuwa na lengo kubwa sana kwamba kwa sababu mbeleni mambo mengi yalikuwa yanabaki hapa juu. Na ukikumbuka sessional paper number 10 ya 1964 ilikuja ikakawa inji na kuwaja sehemu zingine, especially sehemu za kafu, waumia na kuumia na kuumia.
The member for Nakuru East. I'm sorry, Honorable Speaker. Yes. Proceed, Honorable Marota.
Asante. Nasema kwamba ukikumbuka kuna mateso. Ukiangalia wakati moja, Bwana Spika, shilingi milioni 3 pekee yake ililetwa West Pokot. West Pokot kwa jumla siate Kapenguria ama sehemu kidogo iwe ya kuweka maji. Na unajua vile eneo ile ilivyokuwa. Na kuna sehemu ambayo watu walikuwa wanafurahia, hata wengine hawajui mali wataweka hiyo pesa, lakini walikuwa wananyima sehemu ambayo ilikuwa inahitaji. Kwa hivyo nasema kwa hii mambo ya ukatusi vile imekuja na vile sasa hii bill inaenda kusaidia ule uongozi wa county. Bwana Speaker, najua kwamba itasukuma na itaelegeza mpaka sasa ile matakwa ya wananchi pale chini wataanza sasa kufaidika. Kama vile mmoja wetu hapa hivi alivyosema, kuna eneo ambayo watu ni jamii mbalimbali wanaishi, kama sasa Kapenguria hapo ni ile mnaita cosmopolitan, ni area ambayo kila mtu yuko hapo. Lakini utapata kwamba sasa ile, kwa sababu wale wengi wakati tunajaribu kufanya campaign, unaanza kuangalia nikichukua nyingine wale watasema tutakunyima kura, alafu sasa inaanza kutenga wana Kenya wale wanakaa pale. Kwa hivyo naamini sasa hata pia utaona kwamba kuna mahali makavana wawili walikuwa wanang'ang'ania kupata kiti moja, kama mwingine alitangulia wakati ile tamu iliyopita na mwingine akuje wakati huu anajaribu kuangamiza kabisa wale watu wengine wale walitangulia. Kwa hivyo tunaamini kwamba, mimi naamini kwamba hii wakati itapitishwa na ifanye kazi, itakuja kuweka watu pamoja, na kila mtu yule ambaye amepewa jukumu atajua kwamba atakuwa anafanya kazi juu ya sheria, si kwamba naenda tu na kufanya vile yeye mwenyewe anataka. Bwana Speaker, kama vile sisi wengine tumekoa hapa kwa muda, hata ile mchango watu wanaweka hapa. Mimi ni mtu wa papa na mama tangu, lakini hapa juzi nikakuja Jubilee, wale walikuwa wanapiga kelele. Wakati sasa umeingia tu, wanaambiwa onjeni hata supu peke yake, hata wajakula ugali, wanaanza kupiga domo kubwa. Tutararua hiyo mdomo na kufunga mdomo wenu, Kenya inaangalia. Kwa hivyo kwa sababu tulisema kwamba ile maneno ya kukawana waje ikwishe, wacha tuje pamoja na kupeleka Kenya pamoja. Sasa mnaingia na kwanza leta mchezo. Asante Bwana Speaker, wacha ni kwa
The Honorable Moroto. The interest of the nation that is known as Kenya is unity. And if all of us can work in a uniform way to improve our lot, then it is good, surely. And this is what we pray for, that we should be united. Yes. We shall have contribution from the Honorable Tonui, member for Bomet.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity also to comment on this motion. I think it has been an exciting moment from the side shows on the contributions. I support this mediated version of the bill because I believe we need to smoothen the law, the gaps in the law, to ensure that the count is performed. Because I believe the devolution which we are experiencing in this country is godsend. It's the best thing which has ever happened. Now we have even access roads in the villages, deep inside the villages, you're able to access, simply because of the county governments. When we used to have only the national government, that was the time when we experienced lots of underdevelopment. If we can continue with the devolution by encouraging such laws, then I believe we'll have a better country, we'll develop in a better way, we'll have better roads, we'll have better health services, even the level of corruption will reduce, because the level of stealing in the counties is in terms of millions, in terms of thousands. But the ones which are experiencing at the national level, we are talking of billions. Even if you have those facilities which were never cleared in the Ministry of Health, over 5 billion and such. But when we talk of county governments, at least the oversight which is there is much, much better than with the one which we're having at the national level. So I believe any law which can strengthen devolution must be supported. So one such as this one, I truly support it. In fact, I appreciate the idea that we are empowering the governors even more by ensuring that they can decide on who to work with at any given time. So that if the CEC is not performing, they can simply sack them without needing to explain why, so that they can get the people whom they can work with better. I believe that can be better, and I think whatever bills has been coming from the Senate are well digested, and I appreciate them, and I support it, because as long as the devolution is being strengthened, is for the better. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very good contribution. The Honorable Sankok.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to inject my voice in this particular very important bill. Honorable Speaker, and the mediated form of the bill, I am sure the committee did a very good job, and we are supporting it 100%. Because, Honorable Speaker, the spirit of the Constitution was to devolve money to the grassroots. Of course, not to devolve corruption the way we are seeing, wayward corruption within the counties. But then the spirit was to devolve money so that we can have those access roads deep in the villages, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we do support this bill. Honorable Speaker, the only reservation I have is the devolution of social services. Honorable Speaker, our people with disabilities are suffering on the ground. Honorable Speaker, because if they go to the county government, they are told your functions are not devolved. You are not devolved. You are in the National Council for Persons with Disability. Honorable Speaker, and you find that the allocation that is given to the National Council for Persons with Disability, which is approximately 1.7 billion, minus the 1.2 billion for cash transfer for severely disabled, it remains only 500 million. 500 million that is supposed to take care of the very vulnerable members of the society that are 6.5 million is actually peanuts, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, so as we support this particular bill, we want to tell the governors that you cannot devolve human beings. Persons with disabilities are within the counties, they are within the sub-counties, they are within the Constitution, and that our Constitution, Article 54, Honorable Speaker, talk of how persons with disability will be cushioned in any society. We have also ratified the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disability. Therefore, as we support this amended form and we support devolution, Honorable Speaker, we should also take care of the vulnerable members of our society. Honorable Speaker, I've had the issues, Honorable Speaker, about Jubilee. Jubilee is the majority party, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, yes, Honorable Speaker.
The Honorable Sankok.
Yes.
Relevance.
Yes.
And let's stay relevant.
I will maintain, Honorable Speaker, relevance, and I will be in the bill, Honorable Speaker, and that is why I'm supporting the bill, Honorable Speaker. But because of the unity which you have inscribed, Honorable Speaker, as the Speaker of the House, we have said that we extend an olive branch to even ODM. Come so that we can unite. Come so that we can work together. All of you can sign the post-election or pre-election agreement so that we can work together. We have already accepted KANU. We are willing to accept ANC. I already have two bosses. That is a party, Jubilee Party boss, Uhuru Kenyatta, the KANU boss, Gideon Moi. They are now my bosses. I have two deputy bosses. That is Ruto and the others. So we welcome all of you. So come in. Don't worry. And Honorable Pukase is still in Jubilee. We will work with you. The only importance that I want to advise Honorable Pukase is that party loyalty in a presidential system of government is very important. Yes, party loyalty. There is no insubordination. And that the head of state remains to be the head of state. And deviating from the head of state is treason, punishable by law, Honorable Speaker. So, thank you very much, Honorable. I support the bill 100%.
The Honorable Pukose, already the Honorable Sankok had received sanction from the Speaker that what he was going into, the area he was going to, was not part of the debate. So just hold your horses. It is the Honorable Pukose, that is not the way we do it. Yeah, let's just have order so that we can progress. We will now have the mover to reply.
Yes, Mr.
The
Speaker,
Honorable
thank
member
you.
for Nakuru East, you are out of order. You don't have your card. You are carrying up your hands. You are
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is a very straightforward bill. Like I said, we already debated it. We made amendments. We took to the mediation. Mediation took our amendments. Senate agreed. So we are actually debating what we had debated. And it's something I actually thought would have taken 5 minutes to just agree with ourselves. So, Mr. Speaker, with those, and there's still an opportunity, probably one more speaker in the next bill that I'll be moving shortly. And, Mr. Speaker, I think with those words, I beg to reply.
Very well. I direct that the next necessary steps of putting the question will be undertaken when the matter will be listed again. I therefore direct that we move to the next order of business.
Order number 16, motion. Approval of the mediated version of the County Government Amendment Number 2 Bill, Senate Bill Number 7 of 2017.
Leader of Majority.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that this House adopts the report of the Mediation Committee and the County Government's Amendment Bill Number 2, Senate Bill Number 7 of 2017, that was laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, 22nd of April, 2020, and pursuant to the provisions of Article 113 of Subsection 2 of the Constitution, and the Standing Order 150, to approve the mediated version of the County Government's Amendment Bill Number 2, Bill, Senate Bill Number 7 of 2017. Mr. Speaker, most of the general debate has taken place within the context of the area bill. Now, so I don't want to go back into the history of how it was referred. And this is a very short bill in terms of what was being mediated, because there were only two clauses, Clause 2 and Clause 3. And Honorable Kaluma actually did even mention in terms of Clause 2, because the differences were in terms of how is the communication by the president when a matter has been referred to him in terms of dissolution of county and all that, and the timelines, what happens to reports going to the Senate and who should receive and the manner of receipt of those reports. And we looked at it and said that the National Assembly had gotten it right. So Senate then agreed with us. So basically we should be congratulating ourselves that we were able to improve the bill that came from the Senate and enriched it so that it's now better in terms of how that is the communication takes place. Mr. Speaker, in terms of the Senate, they also drew our attention to some nomenclature issue, that we are using a word that was not consistent with the bill, and we quickly agreed with them that, we use the word authorization instead of approval. And it was okay. So basically, it's a very small, very short issue, but could have derailed the whole bill, which is very fundamental in terms of laying the structure for the whole thing about dissolution of a county. If the president agrees, if the tribunal agrees and the president does not agree, if they disagree and he agrees, in terms of the modalities. And the bill is now clear, and hence, I really don't want to get into the merits and demerits because that had been canvassed here. But just suffice it to say, I want to take this opportunity to record the thanks of the committee and the membership of that committee, both from the Senate and both from the National Assembly. We worked in a very cordial manner and were able to achieve the results in record time. The originators of the two bills, Senator Murkomen and Senator Mutula Kilonzo Jr., did come to the committees and became part of the team and made it even easier for us to agree on the issues. So, Mr. Speaker, again, I expect that perhaps we even put the question after this one because the general matters have been canvassed, and I beg to move and ask Honorable Kaluma to once again second.
The Honorable Peter Kaluma.
Yes, Speaker, I second.
Honorable members, I then propose the question that this House adopts the report of the Mediation Committee on the County Government's Amendment Number 2, Bill, Senate Bill Number 7 of 2017, laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, April 22, 2020, and pursuant to the provisions of Article 113, Subarticle 2 of the Constitution, and Standing Order 150, approves the mediated version of the County Government's Amendment Number 2, Bill, Senate Bill Number 7 of 2017. I see interest from the Honorable Martin Owino. The Honorable Member for Nakuru East, you can finally have a say on this.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. First, I want to thank you most sincerely for giving me this opportunity and to be able to air a little bit of my issues that I know the majority leaders put it very clearly. They are very minimal things. But you see the importance, Honourable Speaker, of the National Assembly in terms of every bill should be passing through National Assembly. And I think with our wisdom, and of course Kaluma and his team, they were able to come up with, give ideas that the Senate had not looked into, and they were able to come up with that as you dissolve, and we were seeing this, I think it is one of the counties in Western, they want, the governor wants it to be dissolved. And I think it is important for us to critically look at those timelines as the majority has put it. But Honourable Speaker, it is important. Now that we are going for some form of referendum, it is important for us to look at the very critical two things that have been proposed in the BBI. And it is important to bring back the health functions back to the national government. Honourable Speaker, that is a very key issue that we really need to look at when we come to the BBI thing. And I think, Honourable Speaker, it's important for us as National Assembly. You know, I was once a councillor and a mayor for that matter, Honourable Speaker. And devolution, as Honourable Sankoko was putting, it is the heartbeat. It was the main thing that we required at the county level. And I think we have gotten it a little bit wrong. And you see the way things are happening, you know, impeachment and things like that. But I hope that as we look towards dissolution of counties, which was a well-thought issue by the committee of experts when they were doing this, I think they just missed out on a few things that has been finalized by Kaluma and his team. And I want to thank and say, Honourable Speaker, it is important for us as a National Assembly, and I support the motion. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
The Honourable Rosanna Fasaris, member for Nairobi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I actually didn't want to contribute to this one. I wanted to contribute to the next one. But in as far as the Senate and the Parliament are concerned, I mean, I know we've had this back and forth going on, but it is obviously becoming obvious that the legislators are in the National Assembly and not in the Senate. So every time the Senate does a bill, I think it will be also nice and prudent for them to try and also involve. We've got many committees, and they could also be involving the committees so that by the time it comes to the National Assembly, we're able to synergize and make sure that we all end up serving the people. I think the Senate has responsibility in as far as the counties are concerned. And we know that we have so many issues in counties. And we see that even in the Health Committee, we find that when it came to COVID, the Senate were very, very quick to rush and create a COVID committee, task force, etc. And we find that there's so much duplications when it comes to issues that pertain to the National Assembly committees, where Senate seems to be overstepping what National Assembly has to do. And then you find that the various CSs that we have are being called by both the Senate, and then they're called by the National Assembly, and then there's a total confusion. If the National Assembly actually focused on strengthening and empowering the county governments, we would be in a better position to ensure that devolution is a success. Right now, we have so many challenges in devolution and so much confusion in as far as how the Senate is handling the whole aspect of devolution. I mean, we looked at the amount of money that the government has given, 5 billion shillings, for the county governments to actually boost up their responses to COVID and also ensure that they can deliver on universal health care. And we've seen that quite a number of counties have not actually been able to get more than 10 or 15 beds. And with the rising cases of COVID, we are actually in a crisis. When you think of devolution, the whole idea was to make sure that in the grassroots, we actually end up with uplifting of people's lives. And right now with COVID, we're going to see that there's going to be such a drastic drop and an increase in poverty because we've not been able to actually address what the Senate should do in terms of county government. There is this talk right now about women reps being taken to the Senate. And, you know, when we think about it, I mean, I always felt that we actually campaign as leaders all over, when we're campaigning for the whole entire county as women reps, we do that. The whole idea of making sure that women reps are taken to the Senate because we work in the county makes a lot of sense, but at the end of the day, we should not lose the gains that we have in the National Assembly. We should also be encouraging that the Parliament, the various political parties ensure that the National Assembly brings women that are elected by nomination, not ensuring that we end up with more nominated women in Parliament, and then we end up, again, seeing women as a burden. So all in all, we respect and appreciate what the Senate does, but I think the Senate needs to focus clearly in trying to empower the county governments to be able to deliver on the various mandates of devolution, because what they're trying to do in terms of trying to legislate and trying to oversight, I think that that duplication makes it very difficult for us to actually be able to attain what we want to attain. We're exhausting the executive by having the executive come to both houses to answer the same questions. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Honorable Passaris, women can never be a burden to this nation. They are the pillars of the earth, and we appreciate them. We shall have the Honorable Edith Nyenze.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. Let me congratulate the two committees that they were able actually to come up with something agreeable, and that should be the way to go. Health and agriculture have been proposed to come back to the national government, and I think we should actually, as we try to amend some of the Devolution Act for the county governments, we should also actually mirror with the CDF Act, because with the CDF, that is the only thing which you can see on the ground, and there is a lot of development. But when you look at what county governments are doing, you cannot see the 30% which is supposed to go to development. So it's good to actually look at this, the act for the county governments, so that we can see value for money. Because in most of the counties, you are not seeing value for money. And then you wonder whether it's because the act or the regulations for the devolution are not well fast, or what is the problem. And you also find that some counties are doing very well, while others are not doing well. The finances are being misused left and right, especially the revenues from their own source. So it's, as we also harmonize some of these acts, we should also look at that, so that devolution can be a success. So thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sandy.
Can we have the mover to reply?
Mr. Speaker, I just want to thank the members for their contributions, and once again thank the committee for the deliberations. And fortunately, I know them. So the next time there's a mediation, at least I know the team to pick. And perhaps also, I think one of the things we learned in the course of the mediation is that we need also a wider training of all the members on mediation. So it's not fighting for who is right, who is wrong, but how can we get the best out of the situation. And I believe if we do this across, even politically, we will be going places. Mr. Speaker, with those words, I beg to reply.
I direct that the next necessary steps in regard to this motion be undertaken when it will be next set down. Honorable members, the time being 1 p.m., this House stands adjourned until today, Tuesday, 30th June 2020 at 2:30 p.m.